Hi guys, it's Michelle, and today's video is going to be yet another TikTok conspiracy theories video for you guys. Y'all know I'm obsessed with TikTok. It's kind of bad, but also it just genuinely makes me happy. I don't know, whatever. But before we get into it, I would like to thank Keen for sponsoring today's video. You guys know I love Keen. It's basically a website where you can meet different psychics and spiritual advisors who can give you readings at any time of the day, which I love. It connects you with talented psychics, tarot readers, and astrologers, and it's super easy to get a reading on Keen. All you have to do is create an account, and you'll be able to choose from hundreds of readers who are online right now. Each of these readers have unique gifts that will help you to navigate your life. They can give you guidance on your soulmates, twin flames, if you should change careers, connecting with your loved ones who have passed on. Ultimately, you can just learn how to connect with the universe better, which I always think is super cool, and learning about your spirit guides. I love it. I've had so many readings on Keen. I've read like my past life. I've asked like questions about moving to LA and so many different things. I am obsessed. I like that you can choose whichever reader best suits your goals, but you can also decide to call or chat them. Having the chat option is so great in my opinion because you can literally just type to them, which I love because I hate talking on the phone. So it's just great. As a new Keen customer, you can actually get your first 10-minute reading for $1.99, but this offer does end on December 14th. I love Keen. If you guys get a reading from them, I would love to hear what it says and we can talk about it in the comments below. I just feel like psychic readings are so fun. Let me know. If you want to renew your well-being now, a Keen advisor is online to help you. Go to trykeen.com/Michelle Platti. Click the link in the description below to connect with a Keen advisor. And let me know what your reading said. I personally would love to hear. But without further ado, let's get into the TikTok conspiracy theories. All right, so the first TikTok conspiracy theory we're going to be talking about has to do with the JFK assassination. I saw this theory on TikTok and honestly, I can't believe that I've never seen it before because I have done a lot of research and videos on JFK's assassination. I guess for the most part, we really tried to focus on like why it happened, rather than like the actual conspiracies surrounding the day that JFK actually died. Talk more about like whether he was killed by the Illuminati or like whether his death had something to do with Marilyn Monroe, vice versa. Never really talked about this specific theory. Honestly, I never saw it until I saw this TikTok. So obviously we know that Lee Harvey Oswald was the person who allegedly shot JFK. I say allegedly because there has been a ton of conspiracy theories since the day that JFK actually died that people believe that there were more than one shooter. We talked about that theory quite a bit, about the magic bullet theory. Harvey Oswald obviously died before he was able to like really give a real motive as to why he wanted to kill the president. And so I think naturally that's going to cause a lot of conspiracy theories. That tied in with the fact that in 2017, files pertaining to the JFK assassination were supposed to be released by the US government. However, that kept getting pushed back and has still yet to be released. Obviously, this makes people assume that the government is hiding something, and I think that could be true. So the theory that there was more than one shooter at the JFK assassination is not a new theory. The magic bullet theory has been going around for decades. Essentially, it's the theory that people don't believe this single bullet could have shot and killed JFK and also injuring John Connally. The reason that people don't believe that this bullet could have shot both of them is essentially because the bullet remained intact. I do feel like that's strange. I don't know. I'm not a forensic scientist, obviously, but I think a lot of people agree that there is something weird about that, which is why the magic bullet theory is probably one of the most popular theories surrounding JFK's assassination. But something that goes a bit hand in hand with that theory is the umbrella man theory. Because a lot of people believe that Lee Harvey Oswald was not working alone, people really took into account this man in the crowd at the JFK assassination suspiciously holding an umbrella despite there being clear skies that day. It was found out in 1978, so over 10 years later, that this man was Louis Stephen Witt, and he came forward about being the umbrella man. He basically claimed that he brought the umbrella to heckle JFK because JFK's family, like his father, had supported Neville Chamberlain by him waving the black umbrella, which was Neville Chamberlain's trademark accessory. He was essentially protesting the Kennedy family for appeasing to Hitler for World War II. Although many people don't really believe the umbrella man story and they think think that he had a lot more to do with JFK's death than what was let on. As JFK's limousine approached, the man opened the umbrella and lifted it over his head and spun it as the president drove by. What was suspicious to a lot of people is that after the shooting, he calmly sat on the sidewalk with another man, which raised a lot of suspicions around both of them, that they were potentially involved or knew that the shooting was going to occur, because they just weren't acting like the president had just gotten shot in front of them. They were acting kind of blasé about the whole thing. Conspiracy theorists suggest that the umbrella man was there to give the go-ahead to the other shooter so that they would know exactly when to shoot. They believe him opening the umbrella was the go-ahead, and then him raising up the umbrella was to communicate to shoot another round, and it coincides with what actually happened and when it happened. I don't know if I necessarily believe this, but I definitely feel like the umbrella man is significant to the JFK assassination, because, like, yes, I get the whole protest thing, but why the hell did it take him 10 years to come forward about it? That's weird. I just feel like there is way more to the JFK assassination than we will probably ever know. I would like to hear your guys' theories on this, though. Do you think that the government hired these men to kill JFK? Because I feel like that's kind of the elephant in the room. I don't know. I mean, the Illuminati is there as well, but is the Illuminati just the government? That's my freaking question for today, because I feel like something about this is weird. I don't like it. And I feel like JFK's life and death has always been super suspicious, and definitely the center for a lot of conspiracy theories, especially a lot of early conspiracy theories. Like, that dates back obviously to the 60s, and I just find it all to be very interesting. And I think the Kennedys in general are very, very interesting. Like, they have a lot of death surrounding their family in a lot of suspicious ways. If you guys want me to do a video on it, honestly, I think it would be really interesting because of how much details there are, but let me know. All right, the next TikTok we're going to talk about is the Jumpers Jump Boys. Y'all know I love them. I feel like they come up in every TikTok conspiracy video because they're just fun. I love them. But they talked about the theory that Michael Jackson is still alive, which we have talked about several times before, but there is some new evidence. Basically, there is a theory that this person at Michael Jackson's son's birthday party was actually Michael Jackson. I don't really know if I necessarily believe that's true. Like, I think even if Michael Jackson faked his death, his kids probably don't know, but it's a possibility. I guess anything is really possible. But I do feel like there are two celebrities to me who make the most, actually three, who make the most sense as to why they would fake their death. Elvis Presley, Princess Diana, who we've talked about many times, and Michael Jackson. I just think those three, like, yes, we've talked about Tupac as well, and several other celebrities that, like, kind of go hand in hand. And it's not that I don't believe those, but it's that those three people are probably, like, the most famous people in the world that died, and they were the most famous people at the time of their death. I just think that death was the only way to get out of the fame that they had, if that's what they wanted. I don't know. And also, of course, we have to look into the fact that Michael Jackson was actively saying the months leading up to his death that he felt like people were trying to kill him. And a lot of people think that those people are the Illuminati. I don't know for sure what I think, but I do believe that a lot of people did want Michael Jackson dead. His whole family believes that. And a lot of people think that Conrad Murray, the doctor who killed him, is just a fall guy. The next TikTok we're going to be talking about is all about the Google theory. There's a pretty popular theory about Walt Disney having been frozen. Like, that's been a theory for ages. There was frozen so that later in times they could unfreeze him and maybe, like, save him and help him live forever if science ever got there. Or some people just think his head is frozen somewhere in Disneyland. I don't really know if I necessarily believe the theories, but there's an interesting theory that goes hand in hand with that, which is that the reason that the movie Frozen came out, or at least was titled Frozen, is now when you search Disney Frozen, instead of getting those conspiracy theories, you get the movie results. I think that this concept makes a lot of sense, and we've talked about it before, but what we have not seen is that other regular celebrities might be doing this as well. Taylor Swift is one of the ones that I think is really interesting in regards to this whole theory. Apparently, before Taylor Swift dated Maddie Healy from the 1975, when you would Google the 1975 Taylor Swift, pictures of her and Karlie Kloss, her best friend / alleged lover, allegedly kissing at the 1975 concert was what would pop up, and conspiracy theories surrounding their relationship also popped up. Like, a lot of people thought that Karlie Kloss and Taylor Swift were dating. I don't really know. I mean, I would be so here for it, and I do think it is weird that they were like such good friends and now they're like not. But besides the point, people think that Taylor Swift dated Maddie Healy only to obstruct the Google search engine from all of these Karlie Kloss conspiracy theories. I think that's kind of interesting. I don't know if I necessarily believe it for that one, but for the next one we're going to talk about, I think makes so much sense, which is that people believe that Taylor Swift made her first appearance at her new boyfriend Travis Kelce's game, the Jets game, on purpose, basically. Taylor Swift was actually in some pretty hot water, and anytime you search Taylor Swift Jets, all that would come up was people being angry about her private jet emissions. She was getting so much criticism that she had spent 166 hours in the air in her private jet for the Eras Tour, which was emitting over 8,000 tons of CO2, which is more than 1,000 times the average person's total annual emissions. It just so happens that around the time that she was catching heat for this, Taylor Swift first appeared at one of Travis Kelce's games, which was the Chiefs versus the Jets. When you would type in Taylor Swift Jets, it no longer showed anything about her private jets and just showed pictures of her at the Jets game. I actually think that that makes a lot of sense because that could be planned, but it's not like a whole fake relationship. Like the Maddie Healy one, like I don't think she would date him or pretend to date him just to get people to not think that she dated Karlie Kloss, because like, first of all, there's nothing wrong with that. And second of all, who cares? This private jet thing is definitely something that I feel like Taylor would take to heart that people are getting mad at her for. Like, I feel like that's more her speed of something that she would want to cover up. I don't know. I just kind of think that that makes sense. I don't know. I kind of think it makes a lot of sense. And if you think about it, like, I feel like it would go way above the celebrities' heads a lot of the time. Like, I feel like it would be their PR managers having them do this. I don't know. I think that it's kind of an interesting concept. And the last example of this that we're going to talk about is the Kardashians. So we've talked about the theory that the Kardashians, like ancestors, made some deal with like a freaking witch and made all of the future Kardashians covens of witches with lots of fame and success. The men in their lives would have like terrible lives or something. I don't really know. It was kind of a dumb theory in my opinion, but the Kardashians definitely did not like it. Like, they actively said that they were against this theory, not that just that it wasn't true, but they were kind of pissed that people were even saying it. And so when you used to type in Kardashian Witch, it would be a bunch of conspiracy theories and links to articles about how people believed that they were a coven of witches. But now, because in a new episode of The Kardashians on Hulu, Kourtney calls Kim a witch. So when you type in Kardashian Witch, all that comes up is videos of Kourtney and Kim's fight.
Witch, and I hate you. Okay.
Kind of believe this theory. I think it actually low-key makes a lot of sense, so I would like to hear your guys' thoughts on it. All right, the next theory is another jumper's jump. Let's get into it.
Sometimes when you wake up, you have a random song stuck in your head.
Oh, yeah.
And you know why?
Why?
Your brain may have picked up like a frequency from a radio signal from somewhere else. Because you know how like a radio, if you have it beside you, it can hear music and it can play music. Maybe you can't if you're not tuned in on the right frequency. But what if while you sleep, somehow you're able to connect to that frequency and hear things that you couldn't? Now back this, right? Let's take it to a next level. Satellites are a thing.
Yeah.
And to see things on a TV through a satellite is a thing. Would it be so crazy that eventually there's a satellite that can put images into our head?
I actually think that this theory makes kind of a lot of sense because low-key, it's always something I've thought about and never been able to explain. Have you ever been with one of your friends who have a song stuck in your head and you're not even talking, and then all of a sudden your friend just starts singing the next lyric to the song? It's a crazy experience, but I feel like it's low-key happened to everyone. And I think that it's more than just a coincidence. I don't know if I necessarily think that our brains are picking up like radio signals or anything, or that's why we have songs stuck in our head. What this does remind me of is the concept that we are way more in tuned with like, the universe, literally being a psychic way more than what you think. Obviously, psychics / mediums are super tapped in and able to, like, if you believe in that, which I do, are able to really talk about the future and like know what's going on and talk to the dead, etc. But I think that all of us low-key have that ability to an extent. It's just whether or not we've tapped into it. A human's intuition is such an interesting concept, especially when you think of like mother's intuition or like twin intuition. It's crazy. Like, you can be so connected to not only yourself, but to other people around you and other energies. I think it is such an interesting concept because there are probably so many ways that we could all be way more psychic. I feel like super intuitive about stuff, and I'll like know when something's gonna happen, and it just does, or I'll have a dream about it, whatever. So many of us, if not all of us, probably have the ability to tap in to the universe way more than you think. And I just think that's crazy. Like, if we were just more tuned in, we would just know what the universe has in store for us. I think that's why so many like billionaires and really successful people really attribute their success to like manifestation and like the law of attraction. I feel like it's literally all real. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm crazy, but let me know what you guys think. I just thought that this was interesting, and it reminded me of a concept that I had thought about before, which is perhaps we're all a little bit more psychic than you think. All right, the next TikTok I saw talked about how the Statue of Liberty is actually dedicated to Lucifer. There's actually a lot of evidence towards this theory that makes a lot of sense. So Lucifer in Latin means light bearer or light bringer, and the Statue of Liberty is quite literally bearing light. The deity of the statue is actually said to be inspired by Roman goddess Libertas, who was worshipped by the pagans in biblical times and also was often associated with the planet of Venus. The planet of Venus has been referred to as the morning star multiple times, which is also what the Bible uses to refer to Lucifer. The main three men who were in charge of the construction of the Statue of Liberty were actually Freemasons. A lot of people think that Freemasons connect with the Illuminati because they actually used to. Like, that's just in history. There was an Illuminati. The question is whether or not it still exists. At the time, Freemasons and the Illuminati went very hand in hand. History Channel actually did an entire documentary about the Statue of Liberty and whether or not it could have a demonic message behind it, and I found it to be super interesting. Someone in the documentary made a good point, which is that, you know, obviously we're taught our entire lives that the Statue of Liberty is supposed to represent freedom for this country, and it's supposed to be like a beautiful, amazing thing. At the same time, those same people who were teaching us that were also teaching us that like Christopher Columbus was a great guy, which was just not the truth. So it's not so hard to believe that we could have been told lies. Frederick Bartoli, the creator of the Statue of Liberty, originally wanted to give the statue to Egypt. After it was rejected, that's when they decided to gift it to America. They wanted it on an island in the ocean so that as many people as possible could see the statue. I'll say that this is kind of interesting, but David Rockefeller, who's obviously a prominent man in New York City, Rockefeller Center, all of the above, he wrote in his memoir that his family had been accused of being a member of a secret society dedicated to creating a one world government. And he wrote, quote, "I'm guilty and proud." Many people think that he was not just talking about the Freemasons, but that he was talking about the Illuminati as a whole. The Statue of Liberty's crown also has 7 horns, which a lot of people think represents the sun, again showing the Enlightenment. I think that if the Illuminati is real, I feel like they do run the world, and it scares me. Like, I think that this country is like, if there is an Illuminati, like they're running this shit. Who else? Like, the government, I just feel like that's Illuminati, but I don't know. It's interesting to think that people that were so closely involved with the Illuminati in general, or the Freemasons, were the ones who were creating this statue that Americans look up to every day. It's really, really interesting to me. And while I think the symbolism behind the Statue of Liberty is obviously like less obvious to the naked eye, like I don't think the average person is going to look at that and being like, that's a representation of Satan. Like, obviously not. So you might wonder, like, what's the point of it? And you have to think, in the 1700s, maybe symbolism was way more intentional. I think that the idea that these symbols, like any Illuminati symbols, whether or not it's true, is kind of like less so to take your brain and make it think Satan thoughts or whatever, like how a lot of people think that that is. I think it's more so to like nod to the other members of this club being like, yes, we're aware that we control everything that's going on. What if the Illuminati is so much bigger than we expect? Can't think about it for long because it actually freaks me out. But let me know guys' thoughts. I kind of believe this theory just because, like I said, symbolism was so prominent at that time. I don't think any of this is a coincidence. All right, the next theory we're going to talk about is the theory that was popularized a few years ago, but I recently saw it blowing up on TikTok, which is the concept that planes are actually designed for you not to survive.
Conspiracy theories I think about all the time. The one that talks about planes being designed for people to not survive in case of a crash. Like, think about it. If I were to crash, my head is hitting this rock hard surface right here. Like, there is no padding on this thing. Like, girl, there is no way I'm surviving that. Not only that, but my nose is hitting this tiny little hard rock spot right here. Like, it literally looks like it was designed to knock me out. Who was the genius that came up with these seatbelts? Like, let's talk about it. Like, why didn't they just use the ones that they use for cars? You feel me? Like, those are safe. They hold you back. It makes sense. So why did they decide to go for this? Like, what is this little thing gonna do? Bruh. This ain't stopping nothing, man. Like be for real, girl.
I actually think that this concept makes a lot of sense, and it really freaks me out because I am kind of scared of planes. Like, I've kind of gotten over it over the years, but they do freak me out. And I just think that it's really interesting. If people were to survive a plane crash, those airlines would probably be sued for literally millions, hundreds of millions of dollars. I do think that it kind of makes sense that they specifically don't want you to survive it, because even though it's rare, like, if it were to occur, it's kind of better overall for the company if no one survives. I want to hear your guys' thoughts on this because it freaks me out. I actually can't think about it because I don't like it. Next theory is one that I just want to hear your thoughts on because it freaked me out a lot. I feel like I've steered pretty clear of talking about Area 51. Honestly, I just kind of go to Nevada a lot, but also because it freaks me out. I don't know what they're doing there, but it's probably not great. But I saw this TikTok basically of this van that's just driving in the desert, and it seems like they just disappear into the void. I hate it. And a lot of people think that this is like some Area 51 situation, like a secret underground tunnel. And I think that that's kind of true, and it reminds me of Stranger Things, like when 11 is being driven throughout desert and it just kind of goes underground. It's like a whole underground testing center with experiments and everything. That concept genuinely scares me because I just think that that could be so easily accurate, especially because Stranger Things is based on a true story. It's based on the Montauk Project. There was real people who allegedly had telekinesis that were being studied. So just imagine that is real. Like, imagine if Area 51, like, yes, we believe it's about aliens or military weapons, but what if it's just other humans who have these crazy powers? I think it's an interesting concept, but let me know what you guys think. All right, the next theory we're going to be talking about has been blowing up all over TikTok. It's a very, very sad situation. I honestly usually don't really like to talk about celebrity deaths when they had just happened, but I saw this all over TikTok and you guys really wanted me to talk about it. And it's the conspiracy theories surrounding the death of Matthew Perry. I've seen countless amounts of TikToks just talking about the strange things that Matthew Perry posted the weeks leading up to his death. They all surround Batman. I don't really understand the significance. I guess Matthew Perry was a huge Batman fan. I'm not really sure, but a lot of it just is eerie. On October 17th, he posted this video and it was kind of weird. He's like watching Batman on 3 different screens in what seems like some sort of movie room in his house. And then he pans over to the bat signal with the caption, "No need to worry, everybody. I got the streets tonight." The next day, he posted the bat signal over his pool and wrote, "Sleep well, everybody. I've got the city tonight. Matman." On October 21st, he posted a sign that said Batman plays pickleball with the caption WTF, and a lot of people thought this was weird because he actually played pickleball the day that he died. I don't think that's that weird because apparently he was a huge pickleball fan and pretty much played every single day. But what I do think is weird, he left a comment on his own picture saying, quote, "Rest easy, I'm on a tall building." And I just think that that was weird because at first when I saw the comment, I thought that it was someone else, like another celebrity, because it was like I saw the blue check mark commenting "rest easy," like rest in peace. That's a common saying for someone who has died, and I just think that's really eerie that he wrote that on his own picture. On October 22nd, I think this is probably the strangest thing that he posted. He posted a video of some hand, it doesn't really look like his, I don't know whose it is, dropping 3 cranberries onto the table with the caption, "This is what I've had to eat today. I'm Matman. A lot of people think that he was kind of leading on that something was going to happen to him, and mostly because he was posting all of these weird things, but also I think that Matthew Perry was alluding to the band The Cranberries, whose lead singer Dolores actually died in January of 2018 of an accidental drowning, which is obviously how Matthew Perry ended up dying as well. The next day, Matthew posted a photo of a pumpkin with a carving of Batman signal saying, quote, "You know what I mean?" ? He then posted a video of the moon and said, "Do you understand what I'm trying to tell you? I'm Matman." And then his last ever Instagram photo was a photo of him in the hot tub that he was found dead in, with the caption, "Oh, so warm water swirling around makes you feel good? I'm Matman." People have a lot of theories as to what this means. People think that he was murdered by the Illuminati. I feel like that's a common theory. People think that maybe he just knew something was going to happen to him and that he was reaching out for help because of this Illuminati sacrifice or something. I do not know. I do think that it's weird. I don't know if I think it's like a coincidence or what, but something about his last posts are very eerie to me. I would really like to hear your guys' thoughts on them, but either way, it's just such a terrible and tragic death. Like, it's so sad. I don't really know what I think exactly happened. But it is strange that those were his posts, but I don't know. All right, the last theory that we're going to be talking about is a bit of a lighter one. It is about Adam Sandler. I'm actually obsessed with this theory. I saw this girl on TikTok talk about it, and I think it brings such a sweetie vibe to Adam Sandler that I feel like he already had. Like, I love Adam Sandler, so this was just great. But there's a common theory that at this point is proven to be true, that Adam Sandler basically produces very cheap projects in Hollywood just to get his friends a big check, which is really hot of him. Like, I think that's awesome. It's just cool that he does that for his friends. Even more interesting, people think that perhaps he actually is doing something even deeper. So the movie Jack and Jill had conspiracy theorists really questioning if Adam Sandler is actually just the dad of Hollywood or the hero of Hollywood, whatever you want to call it. In 2011, Katie Holmes was unhappily married to Tom Cruise. We have talked about their relationship several times, but around 2011, she wasn't in anything new. As an actor, she wasn't really working much. She was overall pretty MIA. But many people believe that Adam Sandler actually hired Katie Holmes to be in Jack and Jill as not only a way to get her a nice big check, but as a way to help her get out of her marriage without Tom or the Church of Scientology knowing. We know for a fact that Katie Holmes actually had to plan her divorce from Tom Cruise super meticulously. She had to repeatedly meet with lawyers. She secured a secret getaway apartment, a secret bank account, a secret cell phone, like the whole 9 yards, all to make sure that she was able to swiftly leave Tom with custody of their daughter. However, how would she have time to do this while Tom was constantly breathing down her frickin' neck? The answer is Jack and Jill. Conspiracy theorists believe that Adam Sandler hired Katie Holmes specifically for this role because it was super easy. She wouldn't have to actually be in the studio, be recording a lot, memorizing a lot of lines. It was the perfect excuse to get her away from Tom for a few hours to go meet with lawyers and get all of her divorce things settled without raising suspicion with Tom or the Church of Scientology. People believe that Adam Sandler either slapped together this entire movie just for the sole purpose of helping Katie Holmes. I think it makes more sense that he just hired her to help her. But I actually really believe this, and I think that's really cool if it's true. I mean, I think it's cool regardless that he makes these movies, get jobs for his friends. Like, I think that's really sweet, but something tells me that this theory is really, really true. I don't know what it is. I just feel like she had to have some sort of alibi, and it seems like a movie that she could easily get done and didn't have a lot of lines on and didn't need to be at a lot of rehearsals, would be able to buy her some time to figure out this messy divorce so that she could plan her escape safely. People actually think that this is not the first time that Adam Sandler has done this. 2012, Adam Sandler produced the movie That's My Boy, and he casted sports news reporter Erin Andrews as a small role as a receptionist. In 2008, Erin Andrews was stalked by a man named Michael Barrett who filmed naked videos of her through a peephole at a Marriott hotel in Nashville and again at a Radisson hotel in Milwaukee. In 2009, he actually posted these videos online, and of course, she filed lawsuits against him to try to get the videos down, and also lawsuits against the Marriott and the Radisson because they both told the stalker, which hotel room she was staying in, and gave him the room right next door, which is just seriously messed up. So when Adam Sandler hired her, she was still trying to get these videos removed, and she was actually fired from ESPN because she refused to talk about the situation on air, which is so messed up. So a nice paycheck and an easy job would be extremely helpful for her, and a lot of people think that Adam Sandler did this just for that reason. So now conspiracy theorists just think that Adam Sandler is low-key this secret hero, and besides trying to get his friends big checks, actually tries to toss together to help victimized women, maybe even situations that we don't know about. But I think that this theory is really cool, and I feel like it could be true. It makes a lot of sense, especially the whole Katie Holmes situation. I 100% believe it, but let me know what you guys think. That is it for today's video. If you guys liked it, please give it a big thumbs up. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think of these TikTok theories. Make sure you follow me on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram, and subscribe for new videos every week, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.